In the shade, we're giving away the friends by our side. We'll seize the day, your turn to die. Emotions run high in this world of stories. Together we fly.
Welcome back to the shed.
Project Eden's Garden is back. We're right in the middle of the trial. So honestly, let's just fucking get on with it.
True.
Honestly.
Let's go. Let's go.
It's true Grace's testimony is inconsistent with where we found Wolfgang's body, but that's not Grace's fault. The only person who we should be blaming, is Wolfgang himself. What the heck? Why are you blaming him? Simple. Because he lied about being sick. Seriously? You can corroborate, can't you, Toshiko? During the investigation, you told me you saw Wolfgang in the hallways at 8:10 a.m.
That's after I left.
Yes, I remember now. Ingrid, she developed a headache, so I went to the pharmacy to find some medication. The trip itself went fine, but when I returned to the hallway, I found myself face to face with
Wolfgang? Hold the phone! Toshiko actually saw Wolfgang?
We had a normal, pleasant exchange. He appeared perfectly healthy and even mentioned going to the tournament. Of course, he never made it.
I don't want to be that guy, but can someone confirm this?
I heard him chatting while in my room. Though I was bedridden like a sitting goose. I could still make out their voices here and there.
Strange. He told Grace he wouldn't attend the tournament, but then said the opposite to Toshiko.
Sounds like he was telling lies to conceal his actual intentions.
And his true plans were supposed to wait. What's his true plan supposed to be?
To go to the boiler room, most likely.
I'm lost. What business would a guy like him have down there?
Why did Wolfgang go to the boiler room? That I can also answer. Yup, we have the note. Where is the note? Suspicious note. I got it. Eureka!
Eureka!
During the investigation, I found this note tucked away inside Wolfgang's blazer pocket. A lot of it is water damaged. The paper looks like it was ripped from a notebook, and the handwriting was done in ink. But some parts are still legible. Secret, 8:15 a.m., boiler room, close the door.
This mentions the boiler room.
Exactly. The fact we found Wolfgang in the boiler room and this note in his pocket. It can't be a coincidence. This note must be the reason Wolfgang went there.
That mention of a secret sure is suspicious. I'm willing to bet Wolfie's reason had something to do with it.
Agreeing to meet a stranger in some spooky dark place? Wolfgang had nerves of steel.
Ulysses! Grace! Do you remember Wolfgang getting delivered a weird note?
No, the only time I recall him receiving anything was when Tozu distributed those envelopes. I don't know anything about a note.
Really? Wolfgang shared nothing with you guys? Guess he didn't want them to know what it said. Right, and if Wolfgang wanted to keep this note a secret, he would obviously want to keep the meeting a secret too.
Then the reasons he told Grace he felt sick
was to remove her from the picture. Yeah. Grace, she's not, or, I keep thought he said Grace at the beginning. Once she's not in the room, Wolfgang has his opportunity to sneak out and head downstairs. That's also why he encouraged her to attend the tournament. Didn't this same guy ask us to share our blackmail with each other? Talk about double standards.
Facts.
Are we sure he wasn't just trying to protect Grace? Maybe he knew he was meeting someone dangerous, so he thought it would be safer not to involve her.
That does sound like something Wolfgang would do.
Not to erupt, but on the subject of blackmail, did Wolfgang ever confront the person he had?
Oh? You don't know whose blackmail he got?
Well, if you recall what Wolfgang said originally,
For that reason, I implore you all to speak with the person whose blackmail you have, and them only. Even if the contents of the envelope seem horrible, give the person a chance to explain themselves.
Regardless of the blackmail's contents, it would be treated as a matter between the recipient and the subject of the blackmail, and no one else. Which makes me wonder, could whether or not Wolfgang confronted his person clue us into what had originally been written on that note? I'm not picking up what you're putting down. If that person somehow realized Wolfgang carried their blackmail, but never came forward about it, they could have demanded Wolfgang show it to them, hence the mention of a secret. However, if Wolfgang did confront this person, I don't see why that same person would then send him a threatening note. Not at least act coy about information they both know. If the person being blackmailed wasn't the one who wrote the note, who was?
Obviously, it would be the student with Wolfgang's blackmail.
Oh, I knew that. Yes, the secret in question may actually be reference to Wolfgang's blackmail, not the sender's. Is there any way to figure out whose secret it is? We'd probably need to know whose blackmail Wolfgang had first.
Oh, I've got just the idea. Yo, person who Wolfgang had blackmail on, if he gave you your blackmail back, can you say something?
Don't forget the person with Wolfgang's blackmail.
That's us. Oh, right. Hey, person who's got Wolfgang's blackmail. If you're innocent, say something already. If I'm innocent, I should say something. But telling everyone I have Wolfgang's blackmail really guarantee my innocence in their eyes?
I mean, you're in the game tournament.
True. I don't know.
Oh, wait. Yes, you slept through the morning announcement.
Yeah, we have a total, and we have Kai there too for the alibi.
Yeah.
Although everyone may follow my directions during the trial, since they can't ignore the evidence on my side. When it comes to me, of all people, owning Wolfgang's blackmail, how do I know they won't suddenly change their tune? They might chastise me for not revealing his blackmail sooner, or maybe they'll think I'm confessing and accuse me of murdering him. It's not like I wouldn't be able to refute their arguments, but do I really want to subject myself to all of that? Does the trajectory of this trial really depend on whether or not
I was hesitant to admit it, since I knew it would put me on the spot. But I'd rather be suspected than be the reason this trial comes to a standstill.
Huh?
Are you confessing? Do you have Wolfgang's blackmail? Nah, not his.
Seriously? Way to be anticlimactic.
However, it's thanks to him that I have my own.
Your own?
Wolfgang approached me on the same day everyone received an envelope. Funnily enough, it happened right after I finished speaking with my own person. He and we had a good talk. He gave me his envelope and asked me to take care of it. If you need the proof. Wolfgang's envelope had the same signature. I held on to the letter for safekeeping. This should have all been said sooner. I realized that I suppose my pride was stronger than my rectitude. My mistake for stringing everyone along.
I mean, at least you're honest.
Truth. Thanks for letting us know, bud.
Indeed. To acknowledge one's own misdoings is a most virtuous feat, I believe.
Right. It's very noble. Yeah, it's noble, Damon.
If I reveal my blackmail right now, would everyone here treat me in the same? Would they be just as forgiving?
I take it our other blackmail person isn't going to step forward?
If nothing happens, let's just have everyone recite whose blackmail they got one by one.
What? You sure that's a good idea? No one's reciting shit.
It was only a suggestion. Calm your farm.
Calm your farm.
I don't know what the fuck that means.
Moo.
Even if
No
we knew
shot.
who had Wolfgang's blackmail, that doesn't necessarily mean they're his killer. Come on, bro. It's annoying they won't speak up. Sure.
No shot.
But unlike Jean, they would actually need to reveal Wolfgang's blackmail to prove they have it. This person might just want to respect Wolfgang's request to keep the blackmail between two people, especially now that he's gone. I don't know. Is it really okay if we never find out? Circumstantial evidence alone can't prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. If we want to solve this case, we need indisputable evidence.
Yeah. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle without the box art to help you.
The cases, or...
Obviously the case. The more pieces you connect, the clearer the image you're constructing becomes. The clearer the image, the more you can assume about it. Do you see what I'm saying? Once we know how Wolfgang died, the rest of this case should fall into place. You certainly talk a lot, stranger than you used to, but I still get it.
Well, I don't want to be the one to start, but we can all agree Wolfgang was stabbed to death, right?
Stabbed to death?
When I was in the boiler room, I saw a knife bobbing around in the water near him. And on the ground, there was blood. Dried blood on the boiler room floor and on the hallway floor.
That's gotta be Wolfgang's blood, right?
The knife was bloody, so...
Seems like a brawl happened in the hallway. While poor Wolfie was minding his own business, he was confronted by the killer, who attacked him and chased him into the boiler room.
That would line up with how we found him. The killer stabbed Wolfgang in the hallway, then followed him into the boiler room? No, that's not what happened. I need to show everyone what they've been gone wrong. Where they've gone wrong. I'm Desmond. Damon. I'm Damon. I'm Damon, not Desmond.
I'm the somewhat ultimate debater.
I'm the ultimate debater sometimes. Is that really how you guys think Wolfgang died? That bloody knife was way too big of a coincidence. It was floating in the water, right next to him. Not just that. There's blood on the boiler room floor. That alone, on the ground hallway.
Confrontation.
A confrontation must have happened in the boiler room.
Yeah, it was probably his. The killer snuck up on Wolfgang and stabbed him from behind. And the rest is history. Wolfgang had no other plans to run, but so the killer entered the boiler room after him. That was when they, ended him.
It all makes no sense.
Our story is trying to spin. I need to fix this. 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 I need to. Okay. Yeah, the blood spots are outside, so if we can do the blood spots, because they said something about there being, it being in the boiler room only, I think.
True.
Why does Loki fire?
Wait, so what was your reasoning?
Oh, because the blood spots are outside, and they said confrontation wasn't happening in the hallways. But that's a disagreement, though. Peculiar.
Tozu tablet
Said
just
it from
tells the
behind?
time.
Oh, it could just be the Tozu tablet because his there was no stab wounds, I think.
True.
So you could just use a Tozu tablet on what Jet said, probably. That's like my best guess.
Banger soundtrack, people who made this game.
Yeah, it goes hard. There's the one that's like, "May I have your attention, please? May I have your attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your..." Actually, it might not be that song. It sounds like it, though. Let's hear if I think this is the right song. No, it's not. Yeah, it's this part here. I think this is it. It would make sense.
Yeah.
No, that's wrong! Actually, this time, because I figured it out on my own. I got you, buddy.
We actually played the game.
Let's go. Jet, you talk a lot about the knife and the bloodstains on the floor. But did you even look at Wolfgang himself?
You ever?
I gave him a glance. Nothing too deep.
I figured. Had you actually taken the time to look at Wolfgang's back, you would have noticed a clear absence of stab wounds. In fact, None of the injuries he sustained were the type to cause severe blood loss. Seriously, we went over the same thing with Cassidy during the mock trial. Couldn't you give Wolfgang the dignity of a proper investigation?
Hey, man, it's not like I didn't try. It's just, this stuff doesn't come easy, you know. Nobody wakes up thinking they'll have to solve their buddy's murder later.
Isn't that exactly what you should be worrying about in a killing game?
Not everyone has a stomach for investigating. That's fine. So that's why I got more people like me to do the heavy lifting. Since some of us here weren't able to investigate Wolfgang's body, I'll lay out his injuries. There were 2 marks on the back of his neck, a bruise, and a tiny red dot. His hands were burnt too, so 3 injuries in total. Besides that, I caught nothing else.
Burns, you say?
Junior high, my dear Wilson. The killer used a flamethrower.
You fucking tard. I can't say that. Cut that out.
Shit, cut that out. Cut that out.
These didn't look like normal burns. Not like the sort... I can't believe I said that. Not the sort you get from a stove fire or hot iron. Or a flamethrower, I suppose.
The mess slipped. Contradictions are contradicting my theory outright. Jeez, so this is the thanks I get to vocalizing my thoughts.
Sorry, lass. Yes, if I may add on to what John said, the burns, they actually bore a strong resemblance to what you might see in cases of
Corona paralysis.
Corona paralysis, just like that guy said.
Yeah, I got you.
Kiro, huh? Ooh, now this I know. Corona paralysis is something which happens to lightning strike victims. Getting struck by lightning is like getting kicked by a horse. The impact is so shocking, some people will lose the feeling in their limbs for a few hours.
We're all good.
I thought I heard something. I was aware of lightning paralysis, but even I didn't know its official name. That's a nice heave you've got on your shoulders. Head. It's a head.
Head you got on your shoulders.
Lots of people tend to overlook the importance of lightning safety, especially where I'm from. My grandpappy once tried working out in during an open thunderstorm. Pure luck's the only reason he lived to see the next day.
Oh my god. Sorry to hear that and all, but what does lightning have to do with anything?
Bro was struck by lightning.
Well, if I had to guess, Ulysses did it look... Oh my god, Ulysses, did it look like the big old tree was drawn on Wolfie?
Yeah, it did.
Big old tree. Yes, that's how I would describe the burns on Wolfgang. So, Wolfgang had lightning strike scars.
Uh-huh. We're trapped inside a building, though. Lightning can't come from anywhere.
Could he not have been struck before the killing game? Fate's stronger than will, you know. Perhaps a deity described the glow on his
What the?
altruism from the heavenly abode, and felt him a threat.
Nay, those burns were fresh. One look was all it took for me to know that. If he had these scars before, we would have noticed them anyway.
But if those marks were recently afflicted, wouldn't it mean Wolfgang somehow went outside?
Guys, it's not lightning. You're in a boiler room. Not
True.
necessarily.
Huh?
This is the only something I thought of just now. This is the only something I thought of that. But the reason Wolfgang sustained burns similar to that of lightning strike victims, maybe because whatever inflicted his burns was equivalent in damage to a lightning strike. You saying there's something out here channeling the power of lightning?
Something equivalent to damage of a lightning strike. The idea sounded ridiculous, but when I think back on the boiler room and what was inside it... Right, if I take that object into consideration, Ulysses' theory starts to hold some weight. The generator. Bingo! Bingo,
Yes,
bongo.
that's right.
Ulysses, since you write everything down, do you have a description of the boiler room in your notebook?
Yes, I do. Why?
Since some people here never investigated the crime scene, they probably aren't as familiar with the room as we are. So, you should read out your description of it.
Sure. The boiler room consists of a small concrete platform surrounded by ankle-deep water. Throughout the room are boxes filled with various garbage, and in the back looks to be a generator, charred beyond belief. What you just heard is a brief summary of my notes.
Hear that? There's a generator inside the boiler room. Of all the things which could deal similar damage to a lightning strike, doesn't a generator sound the most likely?
Didn't Ulysses say it was destroyed?
At the time of investigation, sure, but it wasn't always destroyed. You probably don't remember, but back when we found the dummy, I mentioned something about the underground floor. Flashback. Dining hall people, you were in this building before. Tell us what's going on. Yeah, why didn't you mention this other girl? The hell? I never even saw her. Huh? You were there too, Bargain Bin? Don't even.
You knew.
There's a floor below us. That's where I woke up. Don't even. To be more specific, it was the boiler room I woke up inside. I hadn't been alone, either. Ava was also there.
I woke up first.
Yeah, she did.
I just wanted people to know that.
Yeah, I get. Anyway, Ava, you agreed the generator was in full working condition when we woke up. Yeah?
Right.
So in the time since you woke up there, the generator was destroyed? It's the only possibility. As for what destroyed the generator, while it's hard to say for sure, my best guess would probably be...
Ooh.
Oh, hello. Hello, beautiful
This is
woman.
different.
Yeah. We have real shit going on. Two things. First, destroyed is overly vague. Ulysses explained the state of the generator much better, charred beyond belief. Second, and more importantly, where is your proof the generator inflicted those burns? What are you talking about? The generator must be involved. It's near where Wolfgang is lying. Being within range of something counting as proof now, does it? Do you also consider happenstance as conclusive evidence? Funny how the standards shift, if so. That's... Damn it, she's trying to make me look like an idiot! If I let this continue, the others might start to doubt me. I need to stop her before she veers the trial off track.
I think I can.
You know this game. This is from Danganronpa 2 and V3.
This is the swords thing, right?
Yeah, it's the blade one.
Swipe, cycle, truth blades, fast forward, slow down. Okay.
I think this one's really... I think they would have like one answer. That's a tutorial one. Boom, ba, ba, boom, ba, ba, boom, ba, ba, boom. Bum, ba, dum. Oh no, they have four. Boom, 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 ba, dum. Let's see. When the generator may look suspicious. Cut her! Cut her ass! Beat her down! Where's your WASD and kill the freaking... Yeah, kill it! Kill the white text! No, it doesn't matter. Kill that. Kill this shit. Kill all of it. Look, this HO. No, the blackout is definitely connected to Wolfgang's death. There's a certain piece of evidence which proves the two events are correlated. But what?
Oh, the DJ pad clock, right?
Yeah, the clock. So just kill her statements till something comes up where we can actually do that. I'm pretty sure you can just kill them because there'll have to be like a clash, and then it will be in the next section. If I remember correctly. It's all good. No. Oh yeah, there's a certain piece of evidence. Yeah, keep killing that kid. I believe that's what we have to do. Because that's how I remember how I did it.
Advance.
Yeah, there we go. Advance. What are we saying, Damon? What about the blackout? It's impossible for the generator to cause the blackout. If it was already broken. Prior to the tournament. Yeah, now kick her ass again. Let's see. What's the next orange?
Oof.
Oh, that was probably the DJ pad clock one. It was something about time. Boom, 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 boom. See, there's a less advanced. Yeah, okay. That's the one that she said about the DJ pad clock. Or she just said, like, oh, there's no specific time. So get that DJ pad clock out. and then it's the one about time. Yeah, before or after. So this, I think it's enter, maybe, to use
okay.
the actual blade. It's either enter or space, one or the other. But space is probably still a pause it. Right now, kill that shit. Oh,
No.
oh, what's the button? What's the button? Is it right click? Is it...
Yeah.
There we go. Okay, so just
Okay.
do that on it. Now we got it. Just gotta get used to the controls. It's the first time we're doing with this game.
Boink.
Now right click that shit. Oh, cut through your words!
Oh yeah.
Hajime Hinata type shit. Let's go. I always remember him saying that, so. When the blackout happened, it froze a piece of equipment which had been set up for the game tournament. Mark's DJ pad. While there was no physical clock inside the dining hall, a digital one had been built into Mark's pad. If you look at what time the digital clock is frozen on, it matches the time of death listed on the tablet, 9:35 a.m. Well, Mark, is this true?
Just say yes.
There's no point in me saying anything. Sorry about the drill, by the way. When someone else has already said it better.
I can't really hear it.
Okay, good. Just answer with a yes or no, will you? Yes. In any case, the matching times are too much of a coincidence. The destruction of the generator caused the blackout, and the blackout occurred at the time of the murder. There's no way the destruction of the generator wasn't tied to Wolfgang's death.
What do you suppose happened then?
He's got the lamest point sprite ever. I'm willing to bet the generator's destruction resulted in the boiler room's water becoming electrified. Since Wolfgang was discovered kneeling in the water, we could reason he was standing in it at the time this happened, and...
Damon, you and I both know that's not true.
Huh?
Did you forget? It's impossible for the water in the boiler room to play a role in Wolfgang's murder. Because it isn't even conductive. It's not? After Damon and I woke up in the boiler room, I wanted to investigate the flooded area. So I tested the water.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh, that was me. I completely forgot. And you're now hesitating. Plop, light bulb. Jumped into the water. Light bulb, light bulb.
I even redid my test during the investigation, since Damon wasn't sure if he should touch Wolfgang's wet clothes. In both instances, I proved the water was safe to enter. To be honest, neither result really surprised me. Water will only act as a conductor if it makes contact with two separate energy sources. If the boiler room's generator was just one source... Wait, did I read that right?
You did, I think.
Okay. I can't... I don't know.
Either way, it was like it might have just been like the first word that you got wrong. Yeah, it was just to put in.
Yeah. If you're standing in the water, one outlet should be enough. Speaking from experience, large bodies of water are terrifying conductors during storms. All it takes is one lightning bolt, and the surrounding miles is scorched. But the generator is a slow, persistent source of electricity. It's not the same as a lightning strike. Electricity is electricity. Doesn't matter how it manifests. The reason you two avoided electrocution is because the generator's exposed wires aren't even touching the water. If they were, you would have been scorched right from the start.
True.
Maybe when the generator was destroyed, some of the wiring fell into the water?
Nah, even in its current sorry state, the generator's wires are nowhere near the water. It doesn't make sense for the generator to pose a danger anyway. The point of the killing game is for the students to kill each other, not for the facility to kill the students. A feature of the building killing a student would be a meaningless death, because you can't attribute a student killer to it. As for why the generator has been charred, sometimes electrical faults happen. Even my ship's engines have broken under particularly relentless storms. And if the electrical fault caused Wolfgang's death, then his murder is purely on the host, ain't it? Of course. If we were responsible for his death, you lot wouldn't be here discussing it.
That's... Is the generator really unrelated to the case?
Now that wire, the floating wire is fucked up.
But The timing of the blackout, it's too perfect. It can't be a coincidence. Okay, since we've ruled out the generator, what else could have electrocuted Wolfgang?
Yeah. It might have... What? Mightn't?
It mightn't.
It
I
might
don't know what
be
Bro's talking
relevant,
about.
but I did see one other thing on the boiler room floor. A toy gun or something. At least, that's how it came across to me. Not a toy gun, a taser gun.
A taser? Those shoot electricity!
I'm not sure how the taser fits in with this case, though. It doesn't seem to have been used. Nope, the taser definitely was used.
Mm-hmm.
How so? I didn't catch any sort of string protruding from it. Not all taser guns release a string when fired. Some are completely wireless. For those types, you can tell they've been used if their blast doors are missing. Side note, blast doors are plastic panels in the cover of the muzzle of a taser. If a shot is fired, they pop clean off. When I was investigating the crime scene, I found a taser gun in one spot, and its blast doors in another. Speaks for itself, yeah?
And here I was thinking the yellow bits were just randomly trash. Where the heck did a taser gun even come from? Last time I checked, there weren't any lying around the storage closets. Maybe it belongs to someone here. Huh? Just think about it for 1 second. Everyone here has a dorm room which is themed around their talent. Mine's got DJ equipment. Jet's got car batteries. If that's what we have with our talents, what could someone with a dangerous talent have? We have Desmond's secret too. Are you talking about, like, knives and stuff?
Dude, we fucking both got people talking in our backgrounds.
Yeah, no, they're gone now for me, but they were just installing something in my closet. But
Yeah.
what? Is there something on my face? Forget this. The person I'm talking about is Desmond.
Huh? No way! You think gun is Desmond's?
Yeah.
Hang on, you've got it all mixed up. Jean, do you know anything about this? As Desmond's roommate, perhaps you spotted something inside his dorm? Alas, we stayed in my abode. I couldn't tell you if he had weapons.
Talk about sus!
Did Desmond agree to bunk in Jean's dorm? So Jean wouldn't see the weapons in his?
Listen, I get where you guys are coming from, but that taser gun, it's not mine. I've never seen anything like it.
No, that's a lie.
A lie?
His attempt to feign innocence won't fool me. Not when I know the truth. Oh yeah, we know. Oh yeah, buddy. His
It's
talent.
blackmail.
Oh yeah, right. Wait, no, his wife knows about the girl. Was it? Oh, okay, never mind. W.
No,
David.
Ava has his blackmail.
Oh, the blackmail Tozu gave us. That's my evidence.
You didn't get mine, did you?
No, but the person who did inform me of what it said. With his weapons at hand, Desmond guards the only one he trusts. The writing style seems to match. I think it's legit. That's more than a little suspicious, don't you think? Leaving a bunch of weapons unguarded during a killing game?
Don't judge me. It's the first time I'm hearing of it too.
You didn't know there were weapons in your room?
Yep, no idea.
Rooms aren't particularly subtle in their filming. Are we supposed to believe yours is any different? Theming.
It is themed, I'm not denying that, but I sure as hell didn't catch sight of any weapons. If I did, you think I'd leave them unguarded and risk being found out?
Yeah, Desmond cares too much about everyone. He pointed out the broken doorknobs and gave us the idea to bunk together. Why would he hide weapons in his room?
Someone must have gotten the idea of the rifle through my dorm because of my talent, and found the taser gun hidden inside. There's no other way to explain it.
So while Desmond gets a bunch of guns, all I get is an old game console and a dead controller?
That's a little fucked up. Take the bad with the good, dearest pupil. No one fears game consoles. Well, no one besides parents and they're religiously inclined.
Enough talking about consoles. Why are you guys believing Desmond so easily? If the taser gun belongs to him, then he's the killer. Any argument he makes against it is just a flimsy excuse.
Okay, Grace.
Okay. Preach,
Again, to the meat of it now.
Tochika's Feathers Blackout Taser
See.
Gun. Desmond is the killer. His taser gun came from his room. I had no idea the gun even existed. I was barely in my door to begin with. Because
yeah,
you
it's
wanted
freezing
to
the
draw
courtyard.
attention. Away from your weapons horde.
But, if it's about avoiding suspicion, why did... Oh, wait, oh yeah, why did he say it was a taser gun? Actually, that's true. I was with Desmond. True, but how do we agree with that? Oh, the blackout, right. We can agree with her because remember she said there was no blackout?
True. Yeah.
That's probably what it is. I mean, isn't that? I got no freaking idea. That would make the most sense because we're trying to prove Desmond's innocence, and he was his alibi was that he was with Eloise. So. Let's hope this works, because if it's not, I actually don't have an idea. Hey, it's right up here. Let's see. Boom!
miss
Oh,
it?
shit, you missed. You missed. Shoot again. Boom! Yes! I agree with you, because I'm so smart! Yeah, you're weird as hell, dude. Actually, I'm a debater.
You're bizarre.
Oh, I'm a bizarre debater. Huh. Regardless of whether or not Desmond knew about the gun, he definitely wasn't involved in the murder. Eloise can back me up on this. Right. Desmond and I, we were together in the courtyard at the time of Wolfgang's death.
I see. Then both of you can be ruled out as suspects. Don't just take our word for it. She could be covering for Desmond.
Gee, did you have a bone to pick with these guys? At least save it for when we're not solving a murder. True.
Yeah. Why don't you want to believe Eloise? Ever since the investigation, these two yuppies have been on my case nonstop. They're obviously working together.
Not gonna lie, I see where Grace is coming from. When Eloise tried to single her out earlier, Desmond was pretty quick to jump in and agree.
Even so, since the topic has been brought up, I would like to mention something. During my trip to the pharmacy, I believe I saw Desmond and Eloise in the courtyard together.
You also said you were back in the hallways around 8:10 a.m., didn't you? That means those two were wandering around unsupervised. Either one of them could have left the courtyard.
If Desmond was the killer, what would Eloise gain from defending him? Should the wrong vote be cast, nothing about the rules suggests an accomplice of the killer will be exempt from execution.
That's right, and even if she was exempt, Eloise is too nice to be an accomplice to murder.
I don't think that's a good excuse.
Yeah, she's acting with emotion.
Grace, I realize Desmond's irked you, but that's no reason to keep steering everyone down a dead end. Let's move on.
Yeah. Nice.
Look at that
good shit.
camera angle.
Yeah, that's a weird
Whose
one.
fucking fist is that?
They are angry as fuck. They're doing the Arthur.
Yeah, oh my god, they are.
A person who's always steering others down a dead end, huh? I guess they need a GPS. Anyway, we should totally thank Desmond for clearing things up here. Not only do we know he's not the killer, now we know how the killer got their hands on the taser.
Now we know how... What?
Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talent, and found the taser gun hidden inside.
Wait, your dorm? Oh, no, that's
No,
what
I
he
was
said.
talking, that was quoting Desmond.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep, that is word for word what Desmond said.
Right. Good memory.
Yeah. All in a day's work!
Can you repeat that quote, Cassidy?
Again, but I just said it.
Yeah, but I want you to say it again.
Alright. Someone must have gotten the idea to rifle through my dorm because of my talent, and found the taser gun hidden inside.
Is there something on your mind? If Desmond's testimony is anything to go by, then wouldn't this mean the culprit has to be male?
What?
If I remember correctly, all the guys were aware of each other's pairings. With that sort of knowledge, a male student could try and infiltrate another male student dorm.
None of us know which room we'd be bunking in.
It only takes a quick peek to check if someone's inside or not. Anyone could have done that.
And what's to say the thief didn't barge in before we started bunking? Or while people were having breakfast?
Seems there's a mountain of opportunities for our culprit to sneak in unnoticed. Doesn't exactly help us narrow things down, does it? Oof,
Heh, nice one, bud.
real suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, guess the taser gun is a bust. Look on the bright side. If it's been fired, then it's probably what electrocuted Wolfie. Trying to suss out who stole isn't feasible. Why don't we talk about Wolfie's other injuries instead? You know, the ones that weren't burn marks? Those seem like they could lead us somewhere. Yeah. Besides the burns on his hands, Wolfgang also had a bruise on and a tiny red dot on the back of his neck. Ugh.
Bruise and a tiny dot, huh? Wanna try tackling them in alphabetical order?
What? Alphabetical
Awesome.
order? Now aren't you full of smart ideas?
No need to thank me. It's only common sense.
There's only... Okay, let's discuss the bruise first, I guess.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Not stop
I'm so fucking smart. Oh shit. Steel rolling pin, probably. I think it's safe to say the killer didn't use a flamethrower. Yup, so real. Maybe Wolfgang got into a fight? Something might have attacked him. Yeah, and I think you were right, actually. If you can reach that high. Either way, something must have hit him. Great. Boom! Hey, my gay brother, let's kiss!
Hey,
What?
hey!
That was not Damon Mitsu. That was me.
That was
actually.
Jack.
Sorry. Yeah, I just got a little too excited. Kai is right. Something did hit Wolfgang. Really? Man, I was only bringing out the first thing which came to mind.
Bad.
Anyway, from how you're wording things, do you know what that something is? A rolling pin. Huh? Wolfgang was hit with a rolling pin. How on earth did you reach that conclusion? Ava and I found this pin inside storage closet A, just a few feet from the crime scene. Coincidentally, the pin also has a dent.
You sure that's enough to say he was involved? Could just be a flimsy pin.
No, there's something else which solidifies the pin's role in the murder. Handprints. 2 of them on the edge of the pin. So the killer used a rolling pin to attack Wolfgang?
It certainly explains the bruising on his neck.
They must have wanted him to be unconscious, so he wouldn't fight back. Exactly. It would be easy to drag him into the water if he's not awake.
You reckon the killer purposely put Wolfie in the water? Oh my god, he knocked him out, and then put him in the water
BAM!
and then
With
electrocuted
one
him.
electrified blow, Wolfgang is zapped to bits with the taser! Since he's lying in water, he's definitely a goner.
Considering the logical ethos of the killer's rectitude, especially when governed under constricting pressure, leaving him catatonic would be the most
Facile solution.
solution. Why is a 14-year-old so smart?
Yeah, she's more smart than me, bro. I guess it makes sense. After shooting Wolfgang with the taser, what was the killer's next move? If I figure that out, I'll be one step closer to solving this case. Oh yeah. Bingo, brother. Let's see if I can get this one as quick too. Probably the pin again?
Let me get this straight. The killer knocked out Wolfgang with a rolling pin, and then chucked the pin into closet A?
First you don't investigate, then you start yawning. Are you kidding me? Dude, we're in an investigation. What are you doing?
They could have done it
Oh my
when
goodness.
Ava and I were already downstairs. No, it's
Oh no, the storage closet. Footsteps.
Yeah.
Oh wait, actually that would be an agree if it was the footsteps, right?
Wait, but she said they would have been in there already.
Oh, true. Then yeah, shoot the footsteps at that. If there's any other good ones.
Donate check closet
Yeah, that's
B.
true.
Damon and Kai.
Damon and
check
Kai
closet
check
C.
storage closet C. That's true.
Ava and Grace check
Ava and Grace
A.
check storage closet A.
John and Mark.
And
click
John and Mark.
D. Yeah,
Yep.
that's all correct.
Yeah, she's all good.
Killer discarded the pin
Killer discarded the pin.
before we came downstairs.
Oh, wait, no. Footsteps. Ugh. Do that shit. It's probably wrong, but...
I missed anyway.
Alright, then we'll hit the footsteps on what Grace said, and then on what Mark said, because I think it's the footsteps on something. Immediately after discarding the pin? Yeah, I would just shoot footsteps at everything, because I feel like footsteps is that.
Oh, yeah, they didn't leave before they arrived.
Yeah.
Ava and I. No, I can't I wouldn't disagree with that one.
Yeah. Could I have your attention, please? Could I have your attention, please? I guess I shoot Marks with the footsteps and then see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's not Marks. Leave me out of this. It's not my problem if you don't get it.
What?
Then why say anything in the first place, you dumb, stupid, beanie bastard? Fuck. That's what Rekko calls Shin. The
What-
beanie
what-
bastard.
Beanie Bast? Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah, what she
right.
calls him. Until she actually learns his name.
Alright, the only problem with doing Grace is that she says Ava and I.
Yeah. Doesn't really... We're gonna miss it, yeah. I'm gonna, like, pre-plot the walkthrough, just so
You're all
Whenever
yeah, you're in B.
I need it.
C. Even Grace, we're in A, right?
Yeah.
Honor Mark, we're in D.
I have your attention, please. Ladies and gentlemen, I have your
Just start
attention,
the pin
please.
Before we came downstairs.
I am almost there. I think this is literally it. No, this is the wrong discussion.
This is what Diana says.
This is the one where you
Immediately
agree with
after.
Kai.
Got it.
Oh! No, that's wrong! We did not need the freaking walkthrough. Nice job. Now we're 2-1. I've solved 2, you've solved 1. We got match up. Diana, just proof the killer fled the underground hallway at a later time. When the tournament attendees were looking for a backup generator, Kai and I heard someone run past our room. Huh? Oh man, that's right! We were just exploring the closet when all of a sudden, we heard footsteps in the hallway. That's when Damon decided he was gonna follow where the footsteps came from and enter the boiler room.
Did anyone else hear these footsteps? Nope. Not ringing any
Ava.
bells.
Yeah, Jet and me didn't really hear it over our talking.
I heard the footsteps. Ah, you dead? Well,
Well, oh, sorry.
you... Yeah, this is me. Please.
I'm sorry.
I initially thought it was my imagination, so I never said anything. Ashamed to say I also brushed off the footsteps. Thought I was hearing things. However,
You just skipped your own
I
note.
did. Since
That's
other
crazy.
people can attest to hearing them.
Then someone else was on the underground floor with us. Before anyone tries to bring it up, none of the tournament attendees could have been the person running. Since everyone explored the closets in pairs, they all have solid alibis.
I'm sure we can all vouch for that, eh?
Everyone was still in their closets after Damon and I found Wolfgang, so...
Okay.
Considering the footsteps were moving away from the crime scene, I think it's safe to say they belong to the killer.
Wouldn't that mean the killer fled while you were guys exploring their rooms? Hold up. So the killer had been right next to us?
Doy, that's a given. Huh? How are you so calm after hearing that? The only thing which stood between us and a murderer was a door. What if they attacked us? Well, they didn't, so I don't see what the problem is. Sheesh, you're weird.
Why not run away earlier, though? Fleeing while everyone is searching seems really risky. Maybe it was miscalculation.
Damn, it's not impossible, I guess. If not that, then maybe the killer returned to the boiler room after discarding the pin?
Sounds pretty meat-headed, if you ask me. Yes, you'd think a killer would use that moment to run away.
For the two who heard the footsteps, describe the sound. It was kinda socky. As in, it sounded pretty soft. Like the person had taken off their shoes. Saki, huh? Seemed the killer was purposely trying to keep quiet.
'Cause their footsteps were soft?
This seems like a leap in logic.
Bro, it was you.
No, I get what she's saying. Everyone here has socks on, I'm pretty sure, so any one of us could run down the hallway. The thing with shoes is, not everyone here has the same kind. If the killer had worn theirs, we might have been able to figure out their footwear from the sound it made on the floor. Then we just have to single out the person with the with that footwear. Man, it would have been so easy to find the killer.
We already can find the killer, though.
What?
Oi, are you pulling our leg? I'm completely serious. Picture a map of the building complex in your head. The building with the dorms is on the left, the courtyard in the middle, and the building with the trees on the right. Now try and pin everyone's locations during Wolfgang's murder. Once you do that, the identity of the killer will be definitely clear.
Is the killer someone whose position we can't place?
Ulysses, right?
No, it's not about position.
Huh?
Wolfgang's killer can easily lie about their location during the murder. The only thing distinguishing their testimony from everyone else's is that theirs can't be corroborated. In which case, our killer... Yes, that's right. The only one here who can possibly be the killer is you.
I was trying to wait. Where was Ulysses?
Ulysses was with Winona in the
That's
with
right.
the tree. So it can only be Diana. She was the only one in her room. It's you, bud. Diana, it's you, isn't it?
Her? The makeup girl?
She's the only one here without an alibi. Those of us who attended the tournament can obviously be ruled out. And as for those who didn't, Desmond and Eloise were in the courtyard. Toshiko and Ingrid were in the same dorm room. What about Winona? She never mentioned an alibi. Give me a break.
Winona and I were in the building with the tree all morning. In fact, yes, Desmond and Eloise should have witnessed us walking over there, as those two were in the courtyard at the time.
Yeah, that's right.
In that case, Diana really is the only one without an alibi.
Guys!
If she's the person who fled to the boiler room, those footsteps we heard make a lot more sense. Heels probably make a pretty loud clop sound on hard floors, and the underground hallway's floor is pretty hard. Diana would have obviously wanted to take him off. Also, heels aren't comfy to run in.
Whoa, I didn't even think of it like that. You're totally right, though. Since Diana's the only one here with heels, she would have to take them off. Guys, what are you talking about? Me? A killer? Do you really think I could be a killer? The fact you weren't at the tournament is incriminating enough.
Not just that. Everyone but you has an alibi.
But I do have an alibi! Right, Eva? Huh? You woke up with me this morning, and you never saw me leave my dorm.
During the brief amount of time we were together, I never saw you leave. What you did after I left for the game tournament, however, is anyone's guess.
Ava wanted to come help me and Cass set up the tournament, so we told her to swing by early.
For that reason, I left Diana's dorm at 8:05 a.m. I know the exact time since her room has a clock. I probably entered the dining hall around 8:10 a.m.-ish.
So much for an alibi, then.
Diana, don't tell me.
Holy smokes, it's all falling into place! Are we sure there hasn't been some sort of misunderstanding? Oh wait, wrong
What?
voice.
And we'll find out if we are sure next time
Yeah.
on the shed.
Next time on the shed, which we're probably gonna do literally right now. So we'll see you then.
Bye, bye, bye!
Bye. Start the fucking episode. Okay. Word, brother. Man, I'm Kai Monteago.
Okay, we're good. Zach came in.
All right. Word.
You read this one, right?
Yeah, I read this one.